Have you ever been in a situation where someone made a sarcastic remark or a joke at your expense, right in front of others? It hurts, doesn't it? That sting of feeling undervalued, maybe even humiliated, can linger. But let me ask you, what if you could turn those moments into something powerful? What if, instead of letting them bring you down, you used them to rise stronger and earn genuine respect? The truth is, moments like these are more common than you think, and you're not alone in experiencing them. We've all been there, whether it's at work, in social circles, or even within our own families. There's always someone who tries to elevate themselves by putting others down. And yet, here's the surprising part. Even when it feels like you're losing control, you have more power than you realize. Now, imagine this. What if these uncomfortable situations weren't obstacles, but opportunities? Opportunities to show quiet strength, build your self-respect, and even inspire those around you. It's not just a dream, it's a skill you can learn. And that's exactly what Stoic philosophy teaches us. How to stay calm, carry yourself with dignity, and transform challenges into moments of growth. In this video, we'll explore step by step how to handle these situations with grace, confidence, and resilience. We'll cover practical strategies, from making strong first impressions to staying calm during interruptions, embracing humility, reframing shame, and practicing indifference to external opinions. Each of these tools will help you build a life rooted in strength and self-respect. Let's start with an important question. Why do these moments happen in the first place? At first, it might feel personal, like someone dislikes you or holds a grudge. But more often than not, the root cause is something much broader, a kind of opportunism. You see, some people try to make themselves look better by making others look smaller. They believe that by pointing out your flaws or making you feel uncomfortable, they'll shine brighter in comparison. Unfortunately, this kind of behavior happens everywhere, from workplaces to social groups and even within families. Here's where Stoic philosophy offers a powerful shift in perspective. Respect isn't something you demand or fight for, it's something you build from within. Marcus Aurelius put it best: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. In moments where someone tries to undermine you, the real power lies in how you respond. Staying calm, maintaining your confidence, and holding steady in discomfort are your ultimate tools. The best part? These are tools no one can take away from you. By staying true to your values and boundaries, you create a foundation of respect that lasts. But let's step back for a moment. It's not just about handling the tough situations when they come up. It's about creating an environment where respect becomes automatic, something others naturally give you. How do you do that? By setting a clear standard through your actions. When you show that you know your worth and won't be shaken by cheap remarks or dismissive behavior, you send a message that speaks louder than words. And here's the exciting part. You don't need loud comebacks or aggressive responses to make your point. Quiet, consistent confidence says it all. So, are you ready to take this journey? Together, we'll uncover practical, simple tools from Stoicism to help you stand your ground, protect your self-worth, and build lasting respect. By the end of this video, you'll see how even the most difficult moments can become stepping stones toward a stronger, more confident version of yourself. Let's dive in. Let's begin with something we all know, but often overlook: first impressions. They are the foundation of how others perceive us. Interestingly, it's not just about what you say, but more about how you present yourself. Imagine this scenario. You're at a networking event and someone walks into the room, scanning the crowd. They make their way toward you, extend their hand for a greeting, but instead of standing up, you remain seated. You glance quickly at their hand before shaking it. What happens next? Without even realizing it, you've conveyed a lack of confidence, and unintentionally, you've signaled that this interaction might not matter to you. Here's the thing. Small actions like these have a massive impact, and the Stoics understood this deeply. They believed that even the simplest gestures, like standing up, maintaining eye contact, or offering a firm handshake, were more than just good manners. These actions were powerful expressions of confidence and self-awareness. When you rise to greet someone, you're not just being polite. You're communicating equality, readiness, and mutual respect. This aligns perfectly with Stoic principles. How you present yourself reflects your values and shapes how others see you. Let me share a quick story to illustrate this. I once attended a professional seminar where networking was the main focus. At first, everything seemed fairly routine. People mingling, exchanging pleasantries, and introducing themselves. But then, out of nowhere, one individual began to stand out. It wasn't because he gave a memorable speech or drew attention to himself in a dramatic way. Instead, it was his small, consistent actions that made all the difference. Whether he was greeting a senior executive or simply thanking a waiter for refilling his coffee, he did something most people overlooked. He always stood up, without delay, made deliberate eye contact, and gave his full attention to the person in front of him. Suddenly, you could feel a shift in the room. It wasn't flashy or overdone, but his quiet confidence radiated. People naturally gravitated toward him. They respected him, not because of what he said, but because of how he carried himself. Contrast that with another attendee I noticed. He seemed equally capable, equally intelligent. But all of a sudden, it became clear that his habits were working against him. Every time someone approached him, he stayed seated, often distractedly glancing at his phone. He didn't mean to come across as disinterested. It was simply his habit. Yet, this seemingly minor action created an invisible wall. People unconsciously took him less seriously, and as the day went on, they approached him less and less. This brings us to an essential truth. Standing up isn't just about politeness. It's a declaration. It's a way of showing that you value the other person, and at the same time, asserting your own self-worth. This is where Stoicism offers timeless guidance. The Stoics didn't waste energy on things beyond their control. Instead, they focused on what they could influence. And in this case, that means your behavior, your presentation, and the way you communicate your worth through small yet meaningful actions. So how can you apply this lesson? Start with the small, everyday encounters. Whether you're meeting someone in the office, at a cafe, or even in a virtual meeting, make sure you're fully present. Stand up to greet them, look them in the eye, and let your body language exude confidence. These simple gestures do more than just earn respect. They highlight your inherent value and reflect the core principles of Stoicism in action. Remember this: first impressions aren't about trying to impress. They're about showcasing your confidence and respect for others. As Stoicism teaches us, live with intention, focus on the small things, and let your actions speak louder than words. So the next time you meet someone, rise to the occasion. Stand tall, look them in the eye, and let your quiet confidence set the tone. Next, let's look at how to handle interruptions gracefully. Picture this. You're in the middle of a conversation, making a thoughtful point, when, to everyone's surprise, someone interrupts you. It catches you off guard, doesn't it? You lose your train of thought, and in that moment, frustration starts to creep in. Now, this will blow your mind, but the way you handle this very situation can set the tone for how others see you. Typically, the natural response is to get annoyed or respond sharply, and then, before you know it, the interaction has spiraled into something uncomfortable. But then, what if there were a better way? This is where Stoic philosophy comes in, offering timeless guidance to stay composed and in control, no matter what. You see, the Stoics taught that true strength doesn't come from controlling others, but from mastering yourself. So, when you're interrupted, resist the urge to react impulsively. Instead, try this. Pause. Turn to the person who interrupted and, with a calm yet steady gaze, hold the silence for a brief moment. At that precise instant, your composure speaks volumes. Let me share a personal story. During a family dinner, I was recounting a light-hearted story, enjoying the flow of conversation. Unbeknownst to me, a relative, eager to share their own story, jumped in and cut me off mid-sentence. Suddenly, I felt a wave of irritation, but I stopped myself. Instead of interrupting them back, I took a breath, looked at them with calm curiosity, and waited. With each passing second, the silence grew noticeable, and just moments later they paused, realizing their misstep. No one was expecting this, but that brief moment of silence did more than words ever could. It wasn't confrontational, nor was it dismissive. It was composed and self-assured. This small act communicated confidence, respect for myself, and even understanding for the other person. Here's the key takeaway. Interruptions are inevitable. Yet, how you respond to them defines your presence in the room. Instead of reacting emotionally, allow your silence and poise to do the talking. A simple pause, a steady gaze, and a calm demeanor can transform an awkward interruption into a moment of quiet authority. So, the next time someone cuts you off, remember this. Your strength isn't in dominating the conversation, it's in controlling yourself. By choosing composure over conflict, you'll earn respect without ever needing to raise your voice. Moving on, let's discuss the importance of embracing humility. It's not just a virtue, it's a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. You see, humility serves as the perfect counterbalance to pride and ego. It grounds us, opens the door to personal growth, and shields us from being overly affected by the opinions of others. As the plot thickens in life, we often encounter moments of criticism, ridicule, or even public humiliation. And suddenly, our instinct might be to lash out or defend ourselves. But here's the thing. Humility offers a different path. By embracing this mindset, we not only diffuse negativity, but also navigate these challenges with grace and resilience. The Stoics understood this deeply. They believed humility enables us to focus on what truly matters, our actions and character, rather than chasing validation from external sources. And then, by acknowledging our imperfections and accepting them with humility, we free ourselves from the weight of external judgment. Let me share a perspective that may surprise you. No one was expecting this, but humility doesn't mean diminishing your worth. Instead, it's a quiet strength that allows you to remain calm and unshaken even when faced with unfair treatment or harsh words. As Marcus Aurelius wisely advised, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. In that moment of criticism or ridicule, choosing humility over retaliation is what sets you apart. By embodying humility, you're not just avoiding negativity, you're rising above it. With each passing second of your composed response, you show that your character is rooted in something far deeper than ego. So, how can you embrace humility in your daily life? Start by acknowledging that no one is perfect, not even you. Accept feedback gracefully. Seek to learn from every situation and let go of the need for constant validation. This isn't about being passive, it's about being intentional. And very soon after adopting this mindset, you'll notice a profound change in how you handle criticism and how others perceive your strength. Remember this: humility isn't a weakness. It's a powerful shield that protects your inner peace and keeps you focused on what truly matters. By living with humility, you embody the essence of Stoic wisdom, staying true to your values no matter what life throws your way. Let's talk about an emotion we've all experienced: shame. At first glance, it might seem like something we should avoid at all costs. But you see, the Stoics offered a different perspective, distinguishing between two types of shame: healthy and unhealthy. And this will blow your mind. Not all shame is bad. Healthy shame, as the Stoics saw it, is like a moral compass. Suddenly, it points us away from actions that contradict our values and keeps us grounded in integrity. On the other hand, unhealthy shame can creep in out of nowhere. It stems from an excessive concern for others' opinions, weighing us down and stifling our personal growth. But then, how can we break free from the grip of unhealthy shame? The answer lies in Stoic wisdom. Epictetus, one of Stoicism's greatest teachers, reminded us that external judgments don't define us. Our actions and intentions do. He encouraged us to focus inward, asking ourselves one simple question: are my actions aligned with my principles? Let me put this in perspective. Imagine you're publicly criticized, perhaps even humiliated. At that precise instant, your instinct might be to feel ashamed or to dwell on what others think. But unbeknownst to many, this is also a moment of profound opportunity. By reframing your perspective, you can transform the sting of humiliation into a chance for growth. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I let this reaffirm my values? As Epictetus wisely stated, remember that it is not he who gives abuse or blows who affronts, but the view we take of these things as insulting. All of a sudden, this changes everything. By shifting how you perceive insults or criticism, you strip them of their power. Instead of reacting emotionally, you maintain your composure and remain true to yourself. Let me share a powerful insight. With each passing second that you dwell on external opinions, you give away a piece of your peace of mind. But very soon after you choose to focus on your own intentions and principles, you reclaim that peace. This is the essence of reframing shame, seeing it not as a burden, but as a signal, an invitation to realign with your values. So the next time you feel the sting of shame, pause. In that moment, remember that it's not about what others think, it's about what you do next. Let shame be your teacher, not your tormentor. By changing your perspective, you can diminish the impact of insults, rise above external judgments, and embody the calm, resilient strength of a true Stoic. Finally, let's move to the last tip: practicing indifference to external events. One of the most empowering lessons from Stoicism is the idea that some things are simply out of our control. You see, this simple yet profound idea revolves around recognizing two categories: what is within our control and what is not. And here's the key: public opinion and external events fall squarely into the latter. Imagine this: you're criticized publicly, or perhaps an unexpected event derails your plans. Suddenly, your first instinct might be to get upset, to defend yourself, or even to obsess over what others think. But then ask yourself, does any of that truly help? According to Stoicism, the answer is no. Instead, by practicing indifference to these externals, we preserve something far more valuable: our inner peace. Marcus Aurelius captured this wisdom perfectly. You always own the option of having no opinion. There is never any need to get worked up or to trouble your soul about things you can't control. In that moment, when you choose not to react, you reclaim your power. Let me share an example that highlights this principle. Out of nowhere, I once found myself at the center of unwarranted criticism during a team meeting. At first glance, it felt personal, even humiliating. But very soon after the initial sting, I remembered this Stoic teaching. I asked myself, can I control what others are saying? The answer was no. Unbeknownst to them, their words didn't define me. My response did. Instead of reacting emotionally, I focused on what I could control: my actions, my attitude, and my commitment to doing my best. This is the power of indifference to externals. With each passing second that you refuse to engage with negativity or let public opinion affect you, you strengthen your inner tranquility. So, how can you apply this in your life? Start by asking a simple question whenever you face a challenging situation. Is this within my control? If the answer is no, let it go. Instead, focus on your values, your actions, and your intentions. And very soon after making this a habit, you'll notice how much lighter and more resilient you feel. Remember this: indifference doesn't mean apathy. It means refusing to let things beyond your control dictate your emotions or disrupt your peace. By practicing indifference to external events, you embody the strength and wisdom of Stoicism, staying calm and focused no matter what life throws your way. As we bring everything together, it becomes clear that by embracing humility, reframing our perspective on shame, and practicing indifference to external events, we equip ourselves to handle public humiliation with both resilience and grace. You see, these principles of Stoic philosophy are not just abstract ideas. They are practical tools ready to be applied in our daily lives. With each passing moment, as we internalize these practices, we empower ourselves to stay true to our values, no matter what life throws our way. Even though external circumstances may challenge us, our ability to maintain composure and focus on what truly matters is what sets us apart. And so, the next time you face a moment of criticism or discomfort, remember this: your strength lies not in controlling others, but in mastering yourself. In that moment, you hold the power to rise above negativity and reaffirm your virtuous path. If this video resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe. Together, let's build a community rooted in Stoic principles and personal growth. See you in the next video.